डॉक्टर विजय सिंह, IIC VCTM प्रेसिडेंट। आज 26 है और वर्ल्ड इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी डे। आज का दिन सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए हम सभी लोग यहाँ पे आज एकत्रित हुए हैं। इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी डे सेलिब्रेट क्यों किया जाएगा या क्यों करना चाहिए, इन सारी चीज़ों के विषय में आपको विस्तृत जानकारी आज आपके बीच में विवेकानंद कॉलेज ऑफ लॉ से डॉक्टर धर्मेश सिंह अवेलेबल है, जो आपको इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी डे सेलिब्रेट क्यों किया जाएगा इसके विषय में भी बताएंगे। आपको इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स के विषय में इतना क्यों जानना चाहिए, क्योंकि IIC आपको इनोवेशन पर काम करना सिखाता है, एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप पर आपको काम करना सिखाता है। आप जब कोई नया इनोवेशन करेंगे तो डेफिनेटली आपको पेटेंट्स भी कराने होंगे, कॉपीराइट्स भी कराने होंगे, बहुत सारे इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स के बारे में आपको जानकारी होनी चाहिए। तो ज़्यादा समय ना लेते हुए मैं आपको आपके बीच में डॉक्टर धर्मेश सिंह को इनवाइट करता हूँ। सर, प्लीज कम ऑन द डाइस एंड गिव सम डायरेक्शन टू द स्टूडेंट्स।
Morning all of you. Thank you sir for giving me this opportunity. Today we all gathered here for a brief discussion about the World Intellectual Day. So basically, first of all we have to understand why we celebrate this World Intellectual Property Rights Day on 26th only. So 26th was the day when the World Intellectual Property Organization in 1967 was the signatory on it. Approx most probably, and there are different types of intellectual property rights. Intellectual property, first of all we have to understand what is intellectual property. Intellectual property is the creation of minds, the tangible kind properties, for example patents, copyrights, trademarks. Patent is basically the creation of the inventor, and that is granted for approx 20 years, for maximum 20 years. And what is copyright? Copyright is a kind of legal right that is granted to the producer, inventor for any for their books, for their musical work, for their artistic work, anything. That is copyright. And another kind of intellectual property is the trademark. What is trademark? Trademark is basically the symbol, the identity by which your product, your invention is going to be introduced in the market. For example, Apple. The half-cut apple is the trademark of the Apple company. The Nike logo, you can easily identify that these are the shoes from Nike logo. The phrases, how Samsung has written, these all are the examples of IP rights. So first of all we have to understand what is World Intellectual Property Organization. World Intellectual Property Organization basically is the oldest member of the UN. You may be heard about the United Nations organizations that have 6 organs. So World Intellectual Property Organization is one of the oldest organization of the UN. So basically this is the objective of the WIPO is to provide the legal framework and to provide the safety security to the inventors. As we all know, India is a growing country. India is developing very fast, and the concept of startups and mini business MSMEs are growing drastically. So the concept of a startup needs, for example, you have the product and you want a fund from the government or any private organization. So basically you have your product patent. If your product is patent, then usually it is granted for 20 years. For maximum 20 years, your product cannot be manufactured or produced by any other market business. Understand? So basically, what is the status of WIPO membership? इस टाइम हमारे जो वर्ल्ड इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस हैं, इसमें कितने मेंबर्स हैं? तो 193 कंट्रीज आर द सिग्नेटरीज ऑफ दिस WIPO, and Palestine is also a country that is the watchdog. it is basically not the member, they only keep a watch. So next question arises here is, why we need to celebrate this intellectual property right day? Why we gathered here? So there are also a pros and cons. If you have your product, you have patented it, so this is basically a costly process. If there are pros, that your product can't be used by anybody else without your permission. But there are cons also, that it is costly and it cannot be granted easily. They are typically very government influence and governmental paperwork that cannot be granted easily. You have to make sure that the product that you have been launching is unique and have a different standing in the market that are already doing business in the market. I talked about World Intellect, but it was 193 countries were completed in 2000 only, in the year 2000. So the purpose is to raise awareness about the importance of intellectual property rights. Theme is very important. Actually, every year theme is changed. In previous year, theme was IP and SDGs. SDGs, building our common future with innovation and creativity. And in the present year, the theme is IP and music. So basically, musicians, directors, they all have their copyrights on their production houses. What they are producing, what they are making a song cannot be used by the permission of that particular singer. So if anybody use that particular copyright without the that singer, so that will be the infringement of the IP right. And there are various legal aspects also in the IPR, that is Patent Act, Copyright Act. If there is any infringement of IPR, then one can move in that particular act, and there is also a punishment and fine also. Importance of IP rights. Why intellectual property rights are important? We have to understand, first of all, it drives innovation and economic growth. For example, if there is only one company, for मान के चलिए Nike, in the sports shoes company, only Nike, there will be a monopoly. To carve the problem of monopoly and to encourage the innovative and creative minds of the society, this IP rights are important for the economic growth also. अगर आप कुछ नए इन्वेंशंस करेंगे, नई टेक्निक्स लेके आएंगे और उसको पेटेंट करवाएंगे, तो that will ultimately benefit the country to grow more rapidly. And second, protects creators' livelihood. If you have patented your product, if you have the copyright on your product, if you have the trademark of your product, then you have a kind of safety and surety that without your knowledge and without your permission, your product cannot be used in the market. So if anybody wants to use your technique, they have to take permission from you. Next, ensure the fair competition in market. Fair competition means, although you you have granted a patent of your product, but there are forgery also. There are the product can be made a copy also. कहते हैं ना फर्स्ट कॉपी है, मार्केट में फर्स्ट कॉपी आ रही है, हर चीज की फर्स्ट कॉपी अवेलेबल है, बट ओरिजिनल इज ओरिजिनल. दे कैन नॉट बी यूज इन द फेयर मार्केट, ऑल्दो they are distributing and they are selling their product in the market in the name of the first copy, but the original maker and the innovators can easily claim the original product on it. Original product and first copy product have a minimal difference that cannot be seen, but if you are good enough, then you can identify your product easily. This is original and this is first copy, this is original and this is fake. Next, it supports technology transfer and research. Unless and until there can be no innovators and innovations in any field, the country cannot grow. So if in order to support the economy of the country and to grow the country, it is necessary that there is a transfer of technology and research. Why our ISRO and NASA share their research? Why? It's because NASA has granted something, NASA has gained something through their research which is important for the Indian space work, and ISRO has developed such a system that on economically basis they can launch satellites. So different countries are moving towards ISRO on economical basis, that ISRO can launch at much cheaper rate than NASA. So they are transferring their knowledge and research. That's why IP rights are important. Unless and until your products are not patented, these IP rights are not granted to you. How it's celebrated? Basically, how it's celebrated? The one way is we have gathered here a brief discussion over the IP rights. It is the one way. Second, various workshops, online awareness programs, recognition for inventors and creators, and different seminars as the one is going on, and exhibitions of different products that college students had made and want to be patented. Different ways can be celebrated the IPR. Any question? So basically this is the brief discussion about the World Intellectual Property Right Day, and thank you sir for giving me the opportunity.
थैंक यू सर, आपने हमारे बच्चों को गाइड किया इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी राइट्स के विषय में, और आज हमने इस डे को सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हैं। इसी सीरीज़ में बहुत सारी एक्टिविटीज़ हैं जिनको भी हम लगातार करेंगे, और आप सभी का इंटेलेक्चुअल प्रॉपर्टी डे को सेलिब्रेट करने के लिए, यहाँ पर आने के लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।